dot, we will start. So 8:45 people need to be seated.
And you need to shut the doors.
And it's not lost
Yes.
on us that all of you have come dressed in your made in Nigeria. Yes. Think Nigerian, buy Nigerian. Well, that's kind of obvious here. Yes, yes, yes. 9 o'clock on the dot, the forum opens.
Yes.
8:45, be seated.
So there's nothing like Nigerian time.
No,
That's
there is no
very nice.
Nigerian time. It means nothing to me.
It shouldn't mean anything to anybody.
time is
because it shouldn't exist.
There's no clock called Nigerian clock.
It shouldn't exist at all. Now you have as your guest speaker the former governor of Ekiti State. Now tell us about that choice.
Okay. I think that if you look at Dr. Fayemi's achievements in academia, in public policy discourse, he's worked as a consultant with many countries. He's worked with Nigeria, he's worked with the UK. He's talked about democracy governance. We think that he will do a good job of achieving the objective that he talked about, which is to get all of us thinking about what the alternative could be to what we have today, to get all of us thinking about our own role in the whole process and experiment that we call Nigeria.
If this, let me come back here. There's this notion we have, the bedrock of society is a woman, as in without the woman, society is nowhere. But then those who say, those who destroy the society are the women. But this lecture you're saying is for everybody. But you began, there was something you said, we'll begin with us. So let's look at that, beginning with us.
I beg to differ. We didn't destroy.
No, hold on. What I said was the bedrock of society is a woman. So where the woman does not play her own part, the society.
Well, I would say that. So let's talk about the lecture, because I think that's really
That's
important
where.
to us, yes. And we really definitely want people to come, because we think that the topic, and you know, when we pick the topic, you know, it takes us quite a lot of time to sit down together. We're a committee, we sit, we think about what's happening in the economy, we think about, you know, what are the topical issues, and we try to really get something that will impart value. It's not about coming and spending 3 hours and going back and nothing happening. The idea is the 3 hours should begin to be a catalyst for how you live your life for the rest of the year, the rest of your life. So when we came up with the topic, we looked at the society as a whole, and I think everyone agrees that there is something that's quite not working. And you can sort of pick a number of different things, but we're trying to find what is the root cause. What is it that has created the environment which we are in? And when we try to drill down, it became pretty obvious that we just have placed value on certain things that are not long-lasting and will not create a good foundation for our future. In terms of women, I mean, we are a women-focused organization, but interestingly, when it was started, we had one man who was part of the founding members. So we're very inclusive. And the idea is to reach the women.
Do you still have men on the board?
Yes, he's still on the board of trustees.
Yes, he still is. And if you've come to any of our functions, you will see a few men who are, I always say, wow, I'm wowed to see them be able to stand in a room full of 1,000 women at our conferences, and you know, we get the odd men. But the truth about it is we have a focus as an organization, which is women, and it's to create leadership, it's to inspire, it's to empower.
In the 15 years you've been, you do training, mentoring, and evaluation of the women you mentor. So let's look at that. How much of an impact would you say you've been?
So we have a number of programs, as you've said. I mean, the lecture is just one. I think overall, in the different areas, we have different projects. So we talked about, you know, the lecture, which was about the conference, which was about mentoring. We actually have networking events every month where women come together, exchange ideas, listen to each other speak. We go to marketplace as well, where people come together, display their goods, and get to know each other. So in terms of overall impact, I think Aisha had mentioned, in terms of our evaluation, we have reached about 20,000 women is who we've reached. But if you sort of look at the impact they've had in the economy through their businesses, through getting the right skills, through getting just confidence to step up and say, look, I'm going to do something I never thought I could do, whether that is in corporate governance, whether that is in politics, whether that is in being an entrepreneur. It's really just trying to make sure, as you say, that women play the role they're supposed to play. And again, going back to the point you made, a woman is as good as what she's allowed to do as well. So we also need the men to come to the table and give the women, their mothers, their daughters, their sisters, their friends, the opportunity to do what they can do best. It has to be a level playing field for everyone.
And then just to add on impact, it's also about stories. Because I think we can talk all we want about impact, but when you hear the stories from the horse's mouth, it's more compelling. So we have our blog series, we have different people come up and talk about their WIMBIZ story. And I encourage people to go online and look for the WIMBIZ blog, and you see some stories there of people that were involved with WIMBIZ and what the experience has been.
Sayade, she said something which has got me thinking about women are only able to do what they're allowed to do. And I have been at several fora where the discussion has been that nobody's going to hand the women anything on a platter. You have to prove yourself, get the job done, show that you can do the job, then you get the job, if you know what I mean. The men aren't going to allow you to do anything because they want the job for themselves.
I think you're absolutely right, and I'll answer that. It's twofold. 2 conferences ago, I don't know if you remember, the then Governor Fashola came, and it was just before the elections, and somebody asked the question, when are you going to give us women the opportunity? And he said exactly what you said. It's like nobody's going to hand this thing to you. You have to come and take it. So I absolutely believe in that. I don't believe that we can just sit and wait for someone to bring it. We have to step forward. We have to go and get it. But on the flip side, we also need not just men, but society, i.e. men and women, to begin to change their mindset in terms of what, for example, they see as leadership abilities. If you go to so many companies now, for example, and you look at their performance appraisal system, you realize it's heavily skewed towards the innate skills and attributes of men and not to women. But all the research that's coming out over the last, especially the last few years, shows you that the innate attributes of women also lend themselves to very good leadership.
Yes.
And we really need society to begin to value what women bring, and also recognize that the men aren't going to do it alone, the women aren't going to do it alone. It really is about partnership, valuing what we bring, and working together effectively.
Aisha, Udochukwu Gabriel says, I'm watching you beautiful ladies live here in Italy. Thank you.
Wow.
But let's see. The conference, the annual lecture, says on Thursday as the 10th. Wednesday, where is it happening?
It's happening at the Shell Hall Muslim Center.
Muslim Center. Yes. And who can be a part of this?
So like we said, everyone that is concerned about their role in the country, men, women, children, young people, everyone because we all have a stake, we all have a role to play, we all will benefit if we create the society of our dreams, and society that we need, and it's about time that we do. We have a lot of value within the country, human resources, everything. We have everything we need here. So, and we can do it, because I see also when we go outside the country, I see how we behave. When there are rules, when there are structures, we behave. Nigerians are the most obedient. But when it comes back home, we just think we can do whatever we like.
Is WIMBIZ reaching out to other women groups to see how to move the status of the women forward?
We have many partnerships. And because of our own area of focus, which is professional women management business, we also partner with other groups that focus in other areas. So yes, the short answer to you is yes, that we do have those partnerships.
Ooh. I like this. I like this.
So you're going to
I think
we're hoping you will be attending.
I would love to attend.
Please.
We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much, Aisha Ahmed, Chairperson, WIMBIZ Executive Council.
Thank you very much.
Coming. And Sonyade Okoli,
Thank you.
Annual Lecture Planning Committee member, Ngova Yembe Nwankwo, WIMBIZ Executive Council. Thank you all for coming and talking to us about WIMBIZ. 15 years down the line.
Yes, 15 years of inspiring women.
And still counting.
Yes.
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 So 15, what's the next, what should we be expecting now?
Oh wow, big things. Like we said, we are amplifying all our programs, and we have one special thing we're doing, well, a number of special things we're doing this year to commemorate, something called the Big Sister Program. We're going to be going into schools and talking to young girls between the ages of 13 and 17. They're going to sit with a mentor for a day, a big sister, someone like me, or Ngove, and just talk about whatever they want to talk about. Very exciting, so big things.
Yeah.
Big things ahead of WIMBIZ that are 15. Thank you. Sunrise will be back in a moment. Please don't go away.